Hi everybody, welcome back to Ten's Camera. I'm back with another travel vlog, and this time we're catching a train from Delhi with my college friends, and we're off to Bundi in Rajasthan. So Munji set up all our sheets and we're ready to take our 5 to 6 hour train ride to Kota. Since there's no direct train to Bundi, we had to first reach Kota and then take a 1.5 hour car ride through Kota and finally reach Bundi. We check into Dev Niwas, which is a 200-year-old Haveli that turned into a guest house. We got a pretty good deal. I'm not going to tell you how much, but the Bundi's Havelis, they are like a window into the architectural style of the 18th and 19th century. So they were tall, they had wooden doors and courtyards, and the swimming pool was actually a fountain which got recently converted into a swimming pool. On the terrace we got a beautiful view of the Bundi Fort, which we were yet to visit. It was a very peaceful and quiet town. This was 12 in the noon and we barely saw people around and barely heard vehicles. Our first stop was Krishna Tea, which was a Pinterest recommended stop. They had walls that you could doodle around. We didn't get a chance to, but we got to admire and read a lot of cute stuff and look at cute doodles. The tea was also very good. The tea was a masala milk chai, which is the Krishna famous tea. It had pepper, so it was very soothing to the throat. That is Bundi art. There were temples everywhere and there were barely any people around. I think we were like the only tourists walking around. Everybody was so laid back, and since it was off-season, many restaurants were closed, so we had to go to the restaurant and tell them that we're coming for dinner and book an appointment and make the order. And then only they would go and buy, let's say mutton, they would go and buy mutton from the butcher. If you look very closely at the walls, you'll find faded art depicting battle scenes, depicting gods and court scenes. It was a very beautiful sight, but sadly they've not been preserved well. This was a very old Haveli that the owner let us take a little stroll around, although it was under construction. What makes Bundi truly special is its people. They will greet you with a smile. And this, we were trespassing a hotel property, but the staff allowed us to. There's barely any traffic here. Mostly made up of scooties, bicycles and decorated cows just adorned with bells and chilling on the streets. Then we head back to our hotel and then we relax because the train journey was very hectic and we barely had any sleep. After resting for an hour or two, we head over to a wonderful evening to have a royal dining at the Ishwari Niwas Palace, which is once the home of the Maharaj's descendants, and now it is turned into a restaurant and a hotel. We eat jungli mas, which we had to pre-order, and it was so tender and so yummy. Then we take an auto ride back since it was late and the roads were almost empty. Our hotel, Dev Niwas, offers a stunning view of the Bundi Fort, and we were so excited to go the next day and go inside and see what's in. This is the next day. We woke up and we sort of started the day inside the pool. Then got really hungry. We had to explore the streets of Bundi. So we went hunting for breakfast. So now we ordered Bundi's staple, which is a dal kachori. Crispy, spicy, addictive, and it was so yummy. But we had more space for poha and jalebi, and it was only 20 rupees. It was so yummy, it was so filling, and I sort of overate. So now we were on our way to the Garh Palace or the Bundi Fort. It is built on a high hill and it is a wonderful example of Rajputana architecture. It had thick cobblestones and truly, as Rudyard Kipling rightly said, that this is not built by man but is actually a work of goblins. However, not a goblin, but this fort was built by Rao Deva Singh, who was the founder of the Hada Chauhan dynasty. The climb was very steep, but every steep comes with a better view, and we had a wonderful view of the blue houses and the green hills and the lake in the distance. It was sad to see that the fort wasn't very well maintained by the ASI, and however, it still retained its flavor. The jewel of the Garh Palace is the Chitrashala, which is a painted gallery in an open courtyard within the boundaries of the Garh Palace. This holds delicate pillars and fine collection of Bundi-style miniature paintings, and unlike the other parts of the fort, although they are 250 years old, these paintings have been preserved. After marveling at these beautiful miniature paintings, we make our way to visit Rani Ji Ki Baori, which is a symmetrical stepwell. Now, fascinatingly, this small town of Bundi has about 50 stepwells and is also nicknamed as the city of stepwells. However, we did not visit all the stepwells, just one. We then further went to explore the old part of the city of Devpura near the Kota road. This is the Chaurasi Khambo Ki Chhatri, which is an 84-pillared cenotaph built in the 1600s AD by the Maharaja of Bundi for the memory of his brother. It had 84 intricately carved pillars and it also had a shivling at the roof. So we went upstairs and we got a nice view. There were beautiful Bundi art in the ceilings. We also went to the circuit house to look for a deodar tree where Fritz was buried, but we sadly couldn't find because it was a fictional story by Satyajit Ray. Then we went on a bike stroll around the narrow lanes of Bundi. It was a very beautiful experience. So on the way we stopped at the Sukmoha, which is loosely translated to Palace of Pleasure or the Palace of Bliss. You get a very beautiful view of the Jait Sagar Lake and it is surrounded by lush greenery and small hills. This area was also much cooler and serene compared to the surrounding areas of Rajasthan, apparently because it is built in such a way. We had seen almost everything there was to see in Bundi and we had a very wonderful experience exploring it via scooter. We sat and we absorbed all of Bundi because this was our last evening. That is the beautiful Bundi Palace which we couldn't get enough of, so we went to different parts of the city to get different views and different angles of the same fort that we've been seeing from our hotel terraces. So this was our last evening. We went back to our hotel and we relaxed and unwound in the pool because this was one of the best parts of my trip. Swimming in a 400-year-old Haveli. We're at this place called Morgan's, which gives you a rooftop dining experience looking at the lit fort. It was a very pretty experience, but there were a lot of bats, and sadly the fort was not very well maintained, so there were a lot of bats and you could just smell bat poop everywhere. Minus that, it was magical. Minus that. Anyways, this was our last day. We were literally checking out of our 400-year-old Haveli. So sad. And then heading back to Delhi. But we couldn't really leave without having our breakfast again, which was a poha jalebi, which was just 20 rupees. And we had some amazing tea. That is how we're signing off this trip. We've been thinking about coming to Bundi for about 3+ years now, and for some reason it has never materialized, and this was so impromptu. We planned it 2 days ahead, but I'm glad that we did this trip. So I'm so happy that we got a chance to come here. We left Bundi for Kota, and on the way we stopped by at the Kesharai Patan temple, which is just at the banks of the Chamba river. Another 1.5 hour drive, and then we reached Kota. By the time we reached Kota, it was raining very heavily, and we had a warm lunch waiting for us at Sarvo's auntie's house. After lunch, the rain stopped, and we spent our evening exploring the Taragarh Fort. We were very tired because we woke up really early and we had a long road trip from Bundi, but we spent the later parts of the evening around in the local markets buying stuff to take back home. I bought this suit piece which I will wear it for Diwali. Then we freshened up at our hotel and headed for our last dinner in Rajasthan. This is at the Umaid Bhawan Palace, which is run by the original Raja of Kota, Maharaja of Kota. We had a small drink and some appetizers, and then we explored around the palace. It was so beautiful, and maybe next time we'll probably book a room at the palace itself. So that was the end of our little Rajasthan trip. I'm definitely going to come back because this is my second time in 3 months in Rajasthan. Stay tuned, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.